Good morning, students. Our chapter number 8, Winds, Storms and Cyclones is going on. In the first two period, we learn about some activities which shows air exerts pressure. Some activities which shows high speed winds are accompanied by reduced air pressure and air expands on heating. Today we will see the remaining part of this chapter. Now our next point is wind currents are generated due to the uneven heating on the earth. And there are two situations are there. First situation we will see first, uneven heating between the equator and poles. Between the equator and the poles, you might have learned in geography that regions close to the equator get maximum heat from the sun. We are aware about that in geography lessons. You are aware about that the regions which is close to the equator which get maximum heat from the sun, the air in this region gets warms because they are getting maximum heat from the sun. That's why the air which is present in that particular region gets warm, and the warm air rises up, and the cooler air from the regions in 0 to 30 degrees latitude belt on the other side of the equator moves in. Now what happen when the warm air in the particular area which is close to the equator, they get maximum heat from the sun, and what happen, the air will be becomes warmer in that particular area, and the warm air will be rises up, and the cooler air from the region in the 0 to 30 degrees latitude belt on either side of the equator moves in, and these winds blow from north and south direction, north and south, towards the equator. At the poles, the air is colder than that at latitude about 60 degrees, which is shown in figure 8.8. The winds flow pattern because of uneven heating on earth. The warm air at these latitudes rises up, and the cold wind from the polar region rushes in to take its place. The warm air which is close to the 60 degree, which is close to the 60 degrees latitude, about 60 degrees and equator, the warm air at these latitudes rises up, and the cold wind from the polar regions rushes to take its place. From warm air will be rises up, and the cold air which complete its place, which take its place. In this way, wind circulation is set up from the poles to the warmer latitudes. काय होतं यामध्ये की ज्यावेळेस इक्वेटरच्या जवळचा जो रिजन आहे तिथे काय होतं, सगळ्यात जास्त सूर्यप्रकाश किंवा सनलाईट तिथे जास्त मॅक्झिमम सनलाईट तिथे मिळते. त्यामुळे जे वातावरण तापतं, त्यामुळे एअर ही हॉट होते, गरम होते, आणि ती गरम हवा आपल्याला माहिती आहे की वरती जाते, रायजेस अप होते, आणि त्या जागेची ती जागा भरून काढण्यासाठी जी कोल्ड रिजन पासून जी हवा येते ती जागा भरून घेते. ह्या पद्धतीने विंडचं सर्क्युलेशन चालू असतं. Now see the figure here, the wind flow pattern because of uneven heating on the earth. Now Paheli, she is wonder why the winds shown in the figure are not in exact north south direction. When you see the figure 8.8, that time in upper side it mentioned that the airs moves in a north south direction, but when we see the figure, that time it is not shown in proper way north south direction. It takes some curves. Why should be this happen? Because of the earth rotation. Here the winds would have flown in the north south direction from the north to south or from south to north. In this way they are moving. A change in direction is however caused by the rotation of the earth. This change, the curves are mentioned there. These curves are because of the rotation of the earth. Now next point is uneven heating of land and water. You have read about sea breeze and land breeze in chapter 4. Chapter 4, your chapter 4 is heat chapter. I will shortly mention about sea breeze and land breeze. I will tell you what is the sea breeze and land breeze. During the day, what happened? During the day, land gets heated faster than water because sunlight was there, and the air over the land becomes hotter and rises up. We are aware about that. When air will be hotter, that time it will be rises up. Air expand on heating, that time it will be rises up, and the cooler air from the sea rushes in towards the land to take it place. ज्यावेळेस जमिनीवरची हवा गरम होते ती वरती जाते आणि समुद्रावरची हवा ही थंड असते, ती तिची जागा घेण्यासाठी जमिनीवरती येते. द वॉर्म एअर फ्रॉम द लँड्स moves towards the sea to complete the cycle. जी गरम हवा आहे ती समुद्राकडे जाते आणि थंड हवा आहे ती जमिनीकडे येते. ही सायकल आहे. The air from sea is called sea breeze. The air from sea is called sea breeze. To receive the cooler sea breeze, the windows of the houses in coastal areas are made to face the sea. At night, it exactly the reverse process. The water cools down more slowly than land. The land becomes faster, slower, cool become faster than the water, and water cools down more slowly than land. So the cool air from the land moves towards the sea, and this is called land breeze. जी जमिनीकडून समुद्राकडे जाणारी हवा ती कोणती? लँड ब्रीज. आणि समुद्राकडून जमिनीकडे येणारी हवा सी ब्रीज. दिस इज कॉल्ड एन लँड ब्रीज अँड सी ब्रीज. नाव we will see our point. Now you are aware about that what is the meaning of land breeze and sea breeze. This is a cycle wind cycle. That time when the warm air goes to the sea breeze, goes to the sea, and cool air from the sea comes to the land breeze. This is a complete cycle. Sea breeze and land breeze. Now see our point. In summer, near the equator, the land warms up faster, and most of the time the temperature of the land is higher than that of water in the oceans. The same point, sea breeze and land breeze, it is completely matchable with this point, sea breeze and land breeze. Now see here, in summer, we are aware about that in summer season temperature is very hot. Near the equator, the land warms up faster. We are aware about that. And most of the time, the temperature of the land is higher than that of water in the oceans. The air over the land gets heated and rises up. Already we learn in the sea breeze and land breeze. This causes the winds to flow from the ocean towards the land. These are monsoon winds. When in a summer season, near the equator heat is more. Because of that, land warms up faster, and most of the time temperature of the land is higher than the water in the oceans, and the air over the land gets heated and it will be rises up, and this causes the winds flow from the oceans toward the land, and these are called monsoon winds. The word monsoon is derived from the Arabic word mausam, which means season. We are aware about that, the word mausam, and which means season. In winter, direction of the wind flow gets reversed. It flows from land to the ocean. In winter season, what happen? Land becomes faster. Land become cooler faster than the water. That's why the cool air from the land, it passes to the sea, and hot air from the sea, it passes to the land. In this way, the cycle will be completed. The monsoon winds. I want to know that Bojo thinks that I want to know what these winds do for us. Now these winds, what do for us? The winds from the oceans carry water and bring rain. It is a part of the water cycle. We are aware about that. The winds carry the rain, bring the rain, water, and bring the rain. It is a part of water cycle. The monsoon winds carry water and it rains. Clouds bring rain and give us happiness. Farmers in our country depend mainly on the rains for their harvest. We are aware about that in chapter first. We are aware about that. The farmers, they are depend on rain. They are depend on their agriculture activities depends upon the rain. There are many folk songs associated with clouds and rain. Sing and enjoy with your friends. If you know such a song, here is one for you. One song is given on the next page. See here, one song is given. You read it afterwards. This song. Now here two diagrams are given. Uneven heating of land, especially the Rajasthan desert, generates generates monsoon monsoon winds from southwest direction in summer, and these winds carry a lot of water from the Indian Ocean. And figure 8.10, which shows uneven heating of land and water in winter season, generate the winds from the northwest colder land, and these colder winds carry a little water, hence bring small amount of rain in a winter season. Now, however, it is not always a happy ending. Rains often create a problems. And can you list some of the problems which is created by rain? Rain, it also one kind of happiness for the farmers, but suppose the rains, it comes in a huge amount in a short span, what will be happen? Flooding. First one, flooding, including risk to human life. We are aware about that last year's flood situation in Kolhapur and Sangli region, damage to buildings and infrastructure, loss of crops and livestock. At the last year's flood situation in Sangli and Kolhapur, we are aware about all the situation. Many more people, they lost their lives in that flood situation, damage to buildings, homes and infrastructure, also loss of crops and livestock. Many animals, many buffaloes, cows, many animals, they lost their lives in the flood situation. Next one is landslide, which can threaten human life, which can threaten human life, disturb communication and transport facilities, and to buildings and infrastructure, and cause damage to buildings and infrastructure. Landslide, that also we are aware about that in Maharashtra. Some cases are we are aware about the landslides. Landslide which can threaten human life, disturb communication and transport facilities. We are aware about that in flooding situation also, same situation will be occur, and causes damage to buildings and infrastructure. You can discuss the causes and solutions of the problems with your teacher and parents. We will discuss this. In nature, itself, there are certain situations that can sometimes create disaster and pose threat to humans, animals and plant life. Here we are aware about that rain is required for our daily life, for our survival also, because uh, because agriculture fields are mainly depend upon the rainwater, and rainwater is most important. But when the rain, it becomes come in a huge amount in a short span, that time it will be creates flooding and landslide situations, and this situation can sometimes create disaster. These are the natural disaster like flooding and landslide. It is not a man-made. These are natural disasters and pose, and what will be happen, it is threat to the humans and animals and plant life. And there are two situations, such a situations are there, and we will learn in this chapter about thunderstorm and cyclone. Today up to this we will cover, remaining part we will see in the next period.